Welcome to this Figma course. So let's move along. Yeah. So I'll just search the other icons here so that I don't have to go back to the plugin. So I'll search user2 for the username. Okay. I think this looks good. So I'll just select this. Yeah, this looks good. Okay, and then I'll search key padlock, padlock. Yeah, for the password, I'll just pick this. This looks good for me. Okay, so I'm done with the Iconify plugins. I have all the icons I need for my design. So I'll just have to resize them, right? So this is 24. I'll reduce the size a bit to 20. Then I change the color from black to violet because that's what's here. The color of the icons are violet. It looks too small on my design, so I guess I have to make it a bit bigger. Let's see. It's 24, okay. Ugh. Yeah, so 24 is okay. 24 is good enough. Let me set the distance between them to 20. Okay. So how am I doing this? I'm checking this by pressing down Option on my keyboard. I think it's Alt on Windows keyboard. So I have the element selected and then I press and hold Option and then just hover my mouse around it to check the distance between the elements, right? I want to set the distance to 30, so I guess I'll have to move it back a bit. Okay, it's at 30 now, so let's see how it looks. It seems the distance between the icon and the text is a bit too much, so I'll reduce the distance to 15. Let's see how it looks. It looks a bit okay. So yeah, we'll move on to the next one. Let's see. Okay, no. It looks like I have to increase the distance. So let me move it to 30 and see. No, let me set it to 25. Okay, so you set to whatever distance you're okay with. This looks good enough for me, so I guess I'll just move on. Okay, so I'm done with the email input box now. The next thing I'm going to do is create the username input box. So I'll create a duplicate once again and then move it below. And position my icon correctly. Change the color as usual. And then move. So I changed this from email to username. Right? Okay. Okay, so I'm done. I'll just group them. Let's see how it looks. It looks good, but I feel like we have to reduce the intensity a bit. So let me move it from 15 to 10. Yeah, now I like what I see. Okay, so since this is let me move the login button from here Sorry, this is supposed to be the login, but I ended up designing the register. So I guess I'll just have to rename the frame from login to register, and then rename the title to register. Okay, good enough, good enough. So our next page we are going to design will be the login screen. To do that, we've basically done everything we need, our basics. So to do that, I'm going to create a duplicate once again of the register screen, this time of the register screen. So I'll just rename my register screen to login, and I change my title from register to login. I make sure that my title is centered. Okay, so we are almost done here. We realize that the only thing that's different here, right, is our illustration and our button. So we are going to delete the email from here. Okay, so I just noticed a mistake. This page, guys, is supposed to be the register page, and this is supposed to be the login page, not the other way around, right? So I guess we are correcting it in the design here. So we just move along and work with that. So I select this and I drag this up here. Good. So now we have our username and our password. I just have to change the text here from register to login. This looks good. This looks good. If you will notice, yeah, so the next thing I have to do is change the illustration I have here. To do that, I have to go back to my Illustrator file and then pick the illustration I want to use. So to do that, I'll select the one I want to use. But you realize that it selects my targeted illustration in the background. As I taught you earlier, to just select the illustration, I have to deselect the background. So I press and hold Shift and click on the background. It deselects the background for me. Then I can now copy my illustration into Figma. To do that, I just press Command C and I go into Figma and then press Command V to paste. So I just drag it into my frame, delete this, and then move it to the position it's supposed to be. Let me see the size of this. This is 190. So I guess 190. Good enough. Let me see this position. 190. Let me make it smaller. This is good enough. So we are almost done here. If you look at the login screen, you realize that there's this eye icon here, right? There's this eye icon. So to get that, we go back to our Iconify plugin. We go back to Iconify and then search for the eye. Right? So once we find it, we drag it. You select what you want, the one you want, and then you drag it here into your frame. So I have this now. The only thing I have to do, the only thing I have to do is now change the color. So I change it and then modify the opacity a bit. Okay, this looks good. This is good enough. Good enough. Good enough. Good enough. What's happening here? Okay, 30 is fine. Let's see how it looks. It looks good. So now we are done designing our 3 screens I promised we were going to design at the end of the course. So we have our welcome screen now, we have our register screen, and we have our login screens. If you were able to follow along and complete this, well done, guys. Once again, my name is Jacqueline Asaridate, and this course has been in collaboration with Anybody Can Develop, ABCD for short. Thank you very much. Adios.